Hey, ghouls and goblins. This is Raven from Raven's Reviews, and welcome to spooky season. I am so excited today because Madam Glam understood the assignment. Trick or treat while they're delivering a treat. Oh my days, I am so excited for today's video. So, for anybody that's new to Madam Glam, first of all, you can find all of their goodies at www.madamglam.com. They also have a VIP program that you can get 50% off of their amazing products. And they are vegan, cruelty free, palm oil free, 21 formula free, which means free from all of the harmful toxins that are found in regular nail polish, like including formaldehyde and all of that grossness, and HEMA free. So today I am living all things spooky season. I'm in my Stranger Things onesie, living the best life because I'm about to play with these gorgeous pigment palettes that Madam Glam has sent out. So off camera, I quickly took all of those goodies and I just swatched so that I'd have backgrounds to test out. Oh my gosh, this innovative, revolutionary product, y'all. Pigments and chromes, they can be messy. But with Madam Glam, have no fear. They took the mess out of pigments. So let's get into the magic. So as I'm on the struggle bus trying to open this, sometimes I find that I use too much strength and I shred packaging. So I was trying to be very careful so that I could take pictures afterwards and didn't just crush up the box or the palette. Being She-Hulk sometimes is not nice because you break your tanks. So first of all, I thought this was so cool. In the back, they give you instructions. So they say apply velvet matte top coat, cure 1 minute or 2 minutes if you're using a traditional UV lamp versus the LED lamps, which personally I just think the LED lamps are so much better. They've worked on the diodes and it is way less harmful than just straight UV light, which is just all the tannin bulbs. So first of all, let me just talk about this. It retails, so these are the Tropical Pigment Palette and the Fairy Pigment Palette, which both retail for $17.48 if you're VIP or regularly for $34.95. They are 3 out of 5 bottles on the opacity level, and both palettes have a little something different. So the Tropical palette, that is 9 matte bright colors in one compact palette. The pressed pigments are for smooth application, no mess or waste, and it's 0.8 grams. So quickly, I'm just getting my velvet matte, and we're going to velvet that bad boy. Now, Votino says 15 seconds, and then that's like your perfect base. Madam Glam suggested 1 minute, so I did test out both 15 seconds and 1 minute. And what I found very interesting is the tropical pigments. They go on so amazing on either the natural tacky layer of the polish, but this is when you pull it out right away, not if it's been sitting for a while. Or you can do what I'm doing right now with the velvet, which whether you do 15 seconds or 1 minute, you are just going to be tickled pink. I did make sure for this first test, I did exactly what Madam Glam suggested. So that was 1 minute with their velvet matte. And then I took out this darling stencil. Oh my days, Miss Envy from Nailed by Envy sent over this gorgeous sister care package. Like I was just losing it with all of the goodies, but it had these stencils. And I thought it would be so amazing to just see, first of all, how the pigments adhere, and also if something like this works. So I actually saw Miss Guyleen. I will give information for her page. I watched her pigment unboxing, and she was just doing all of the things, making me drool, but she also used a stencil, and that just got me so excited. I really wanted to try that. So thank you, Guyleen, for making the scientific, the mad scientist bubble. And as Envy says, we always do science. So this video is going to be in real time. I do not speed up anything. I really wanted this to be all of the science, figuring out what works, and just truly like a natural reaction to this pigment palette. So let's get into all of the magic. So, first of all, I think it is genius that Madam Glam came out with this. Like, pigments are one of the most amazing ways to not only create background, to shade areas, to create the perfect ombres. Like, do not sleep on pigment palettes. That's what this is, on pigment art, because it is just amazing. There is a nail artist, I'm sure y'all know him, named Votino, and he does a lot of his art with pigment palettes. And, oh my gosh, I have the product on my mind with pigments. And I was just so mystified with the work he does. So I think that this palette takes like the mess factor out. It's kind of, there's no way around it when you do work with pigments. You get a couple of dropsies. But I find sometimes when you open the pot of pigment, you can just have, like, if you breathe too hard, ooh, that thing is all over your desk. I have ruined so many backdrops with pigments. So I had such a fun experience with this. And starting off with this, like, bright blush, this red, I was actually shook at the opacity of it and the way you could build it up. And I kind of wanted to test out how it applies with an eyeshadow brush. And then they have, like, you know, the eyeshadow brushes that are, how do I explain it? You get them in like the little compacts. I'm going to like brook it out in a second. That I found it really packed a punch, but it worked better when you were using the velvet versus top coat. And we are going to get into the top coat magic when I open up the fairy palette packet, because oh my days, you know, as a resident fairy, I had my eyes on that one. But right now I'm just dipping into the matte pigments from the Tropical palette, and I am so impressed with this orange, red. We are going to dip into the yellow, just do all of the fiery tropical madness, and see how this stencil works. I was literally holding my breath the whole time because I'm like, if I do this pull away and you just get mess, I'm going to cry. And we do not want any tears here. I also think this is one of the best ways. We have a lot of ideas as nail artists, but sometimes the best day on a lazy Sunday, just grab some of your goodies, things you've never tried, and just play with it. Honestly, one thing I can say, my charm sisters, my sister Envy, she really taught me, and well, they continue to teach me magical things every day, but just taught me the art of play in science and how testing out different theories, you really get to find your perfect way to work with each product. And every product works different, like every pigment, every chrome. So this was all of the science for these beautiful nails so that I could truly test out these palettes. And let's just say hindsight is 2020. After working with everything, I am so blown away. If you can still pick these up and they have not sold out, I urge you to run on over to madamglam.com because these are limited edition. And like, can I just take a moment and say, like, this year Madam Glam, like, they're always on fire, but the collections, the Korean gels, the effect polishes, stone effect, tortoise shell, like the new rubber bases they just came out with, these, like, they have been not only riding along and following all of the trends, but they are trendsetters. They're setting new things, and just, I am so impressed. So I was really excited to try these. The moment I saw them come out, I was just losing it. So here's the moment of truth, y'all. You could even see like a poof of pigment there, but I technically should have dusted it off beforehand, but I did test it and I dusted it afterwards and it did not get onto any of the design. So I was very impressed. There's like two ways to kind of test quality. So one way is this, where I did a little brush and it did not smear everywhere, which I was just shooketh. But the second really important one is you're supposed to float the top coat gently over, but sometimes when the pigments aren't at a good quality, you'll swipe and it will almost like indent and smear everything you've done. And so I actually did not have any issue with any of these smearing, any issues. Like, I was very impressed. So let's get into the top coat moment because she juicy. This is also a crucial moment in any kind of pigment chrome application. You really need to make sure that you have sealed it perfectly, because when you go in there and you wipe with your alcohol or anything else, if you have not sealed that properly, you will lose some of that color. And we do not work hard to lose all of the things. So this was very interesting. I actually wanted to test in the tacky inhibition layer, but it had been cured for too long, and so it just like fell off. So I actually just applied a little bit of matte. We did our 15 seconds, and now I'm just gently tap, tap, tapping and just seeing opacity and how these work. So this blush pink, it actually is like a bit more peachy, and it's so beautiful. Like, again, these pigments truly stand out because they do have a matte finish, which is so interesting. Um, I've seen different pigments like neon, glow in the dark, etc., and they all have a different finish. So this was really interesting. So I'm just going to go through the colors, put some yellow, blue, and green up in there. And I also switched out the application brushes I was using to another eyeshadow brush. And I did find that it deepened the color. So again, like, it is really important for you to play, figure out what works best for you and also for the vision, because we always have a different vision, y'all. So depending on what your finished product, what you're aiming for, you'll kind of switch around your techniques. But I assure you, these are so fun. And the finish is just stunning. Like, do you see this? It was giving me very light. And the moment I went in with that other brush, I was like, oh, okay. That eyeshadow application brush was really giving all of the opacity. I also know I just went right into the meat and potatoes of this video because I was so excited that Madam Glam offered up some treats for this trick or treat, season. But I also wanted to say how grateful and just thankful I am to have you, yes, you, my nail family, in my life, to have this community. It is really, really tough going through this world sometimes with chronic, it's not sometimes, all the time, with a chronic pain disorder. And sometimes it's really hard to find the light. This week has been one of the hardest weeks I've experienced in a lot of months. I've been experiencing like a lot of new flares with my chronic illness and just so much pain. And you guys have been such a large light in my life and having this outlet of nails and creating. So I can't thank you enough. Like, I'm just forever blessed and forever changed to be a part of this community. So I just wanted to say I love you and thank you for staying. Especially, I know this is a longer video, but I did not want to speed anything up. I really wanted to show you exactly like any trials, tribulations, all the good things, just anything that I experienced while trying this. So you guys can see I'm just floating that gorgeous, and this is base coat. I wanted to see because sometimes the top coat versus base coat, you'll get like dents, and there was no denting. I was just very impressed with the finish. And doesn't that just like gives you the perfect matte finish, like, and it's glossy, so it's, it's like, what? So I just went in with Madam Glam's white gel paint, and I'm just doing some starbursts, but I'm so impressed with how fast I was able to create that background. I also wanted to have a little bit of like a roll call moment. For all the beautiful queens that are watching right now, this question goes out to you. What would you guys like to see more in the channel? And like, would you guys like to see more? Like, obviously, this is a review channel, but also we do artwork here. So, would you like to see more abstract art, more character art? Again, reviews, testing products? Like, what would you guys like to see the most? Because, like, you can grow a lot of things, but I can't grow this channel without you. You guys are my everything, so I would really love to know what you guys love most. So please comment down below if you guys have any suggestions, any, hacks or trending nail art you'd like to see. Just comment down below, and I will not only tag you in the video, but I will do the magic. I actually had somebody reach out on TikTok, and they said that they really enjoy my nail art and they would like to give a theme and if I could shout them out. And I said, that's not a problem at all. We are such a gorgeous family here and we learn so much from each other. And I think getting like a theme idea or a suggestion is just incredibly exciting. So, you know me, I'm your raven. I got you. So, moving into the last design that I'm going to play around with the tropical pigments before moving into the fairy palette, I wanted like Beetlejuice vibes, almost like Jack Stripes, and then I wanted like the Beetlejuice goo to drip down. So, I'm first using my Madam Glam dotting tool, and I am just dotting so it can look like a drip. And we are going to use, so I only cure this for 30 seconds and just to see if that if the no wipe is like tacky enough for me to put the pigments into, because again, when it first comes out of the lamp it is like more tacky and receptive to pigments and chromes than when it's kind of been sitting for a little while, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to quickly get this drip on, and then we are going to dip into the tropical palette. There is so much magic that I want to do, like full set wise, with these pigment palettes, but I also didn't want to jump right into that without giving it like a proper test. So thank you guys for coming into a longer video, but my heart was swooning. I swear, I put on one of my favorite shows. Can anybody guess? I put on Supernatural, and my ultimate, y'all, if we want to start talking, is Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. You guys want to talk Buffy? I will lose it. But I put on my Winchesters because my boys never fail me, and I just started swatching and playing and having all the things. And before I noticed, like 3 episodes had gone by, and I'm like, oh damn, okay, I need to stop. But sometimes, when you get lost in the sauce, when you get lost in art, it is just, you transport to this magical place, and time has no meaning. So I had so much fun just testing out this and kind of letting my brain soar, because there is, again, a lot of fun things I want to do with this. So the envision here is I wanted Beetlejuice's slime, which is this green, but the hunter green on this palette is a little bit too dark for that green slime. So I thought introducing kind of ombreing and blending together the yellow and the green, I'd be able to get that like bright slimer. And boy, was I right. I also quickly wiped the entire nail down before I went in with the white UV, just hoping that the pigments would only stick to that area, and they did. There was like probably like the tiniest on the stripes that transferred, and I just wiped that off with alcohol. But I was so impressed with how these ombre together. And I have seen Votino do it. You can definitely mix colors, create your own colors, use the white and lighten things. Like, you can do so much. But also, in showing this, in mixing 2 colors here, I was actually able to customize that green and really give it that Beetlejuice glow. So this was just everything. I was like, yep, okay, mission accomplished. Like, out of all of the tests I wanted to do today, this was a huge one. I'm like, I need to see the Beetlejuice drips. So again, this is just showing how easy this makes nail art. You did not have to faff with different colors, anything like that. You let the pigments do the heavy lifting. So this ends the playing with the Tropical Pigment palette. If there is any colors that you did not see me play with, but that you would like to see, again, comment down below, and I will do a little short or I'll do a special video just so that you can see that color. So next up, we are moving that tropical palette aside, and we are busting out the Fairy Pigment palette. Yes, all the pressed pigment magic. Now, it was to my chagrin. Oh, I was so sad. I saw that the Fairy Pigment on the right-hand corner, it got smashed up in transport. So I was very sad. Now, if I had some alcohol, similar to what you do with eyeshadow, I would just give a light spritz and pack that in, but I didn't have a spritz bottle, so I actually did take my little pipetter and just incorporated, like put a couple drops of alcohol in there just so that I could solidify that pressed area so that every time I open that up, it doesn't just burst, right? We like fairy dust, but we don't want it on everything. So this was a moment where I was like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. So that was on a mat and it just fell off. It was like, mm-mm. So I would really suggest, again, because there's 3 shimmers here and then 6 matte colors. So I even tried, this is still on the matte. I'm still trying to really burnish that in. I'm like, if I use my Hulk strength, can I just, yeah, no. So it actually got my mind going, and I was like, if these are more similar to chromes, maybe they'll work better on a no wipe surface. So I tried both just putting it into the tacky layer of the polish, which worked quite amazing. Using 30 seconds on a top coat, a no wipe top coat, also worked amazing. And then if you're having any issues like with that top coat, with it adhering, I actually went in with an alcohol, like a 99 alcohol. You can use 70. And I wiped down the entire nail, and then it hugged. It hugged to it so perfectly. So it was very interesting to see that the 3 shimmers in the Fairy palette, they worked more like chromes, and they worked a lot better either in that tacky inhibition layer or a no wipe top coat situation. So that was like very interesting, but they're so beautiful. And there is like this aquamarine teal one. I've got to figure out the perfect application for that bad boy, because let me tell you, that was by far one of my favorites. And I was really excited that only the one pigment seemed to be broken. And again, I tried to shop that the best I could. So right now I'm just burnishing that in with my finger. And again, I was impressed. I'm like, okay, this is definitely moving a lot more like chromes. So that's when I dip right into that aquamarine. And my mermaid heart, I was like, that looks like a mermaid tail. I had to start whispering. I'm like, I don't want to blow any of this away with my breath. But I was just so impressed, and just the like just how smooth it applied. So again, this is where we go back to truly testing things out, seeing how it works, and especially before you do a full set or work on a client, you're going to want to know like the optimal way to work with each product. So I had so much fun playing science, and I actually just wanted to like bathe in this shimmer glitter, like the chrome iridescent fairy magic, like it was just all of the things. So again, you see me dipping with a different tool here. I just truly want to see like what burnishes in better. And I actually found that this was a bit harsh, and it was actually wiping away some of the products, where funny enough with the matte, it was like packing them in. So again, using different techniques will get you your most optimal results. So right now, I actually just wiped that nail clean with some 99, because the science in me was really ticking here. And I was like, is this going to be smoother? Because we want the smoothest application possible. And I was so impressed, because at first here, it looks like, no, we don't want to transfer. But it does. Like, as soon as I started really just like gently wiping on there, I was very impressed with how that went on. So I was like, okay, you've won me over. Fairy palette, you were my very, like, this was the one I was most excited to try. But having both of these in your roster, in your nail goodies, is definitely a game changer. Because again, like you're going to see shortly, I actually used one of the colors from the Into the Nude box. It was Magnifique. And that middle shimmer you see, I used that one. I could not believe all of the pearlescent, like iridescent chrome, definitely fairy magic. This one's very mermaidy. I was just so impressed. And I'm telling you, if you just use Magnifique and that one like shimmer chrome, I swear to heavens, you could just do a whole nail like that and you'd get like that Hailey Bieber, that very popular chrome effect, that like glazed donut. So I just wanted to check how easy the white would be to build up. And this is just into the regular tacky layer. Now, this is a matte color, so I believe if I had have also if I had have velveted, like did the velvet matte on this, I would have been able to build up the opacity on the white like far faster. But I was very interested, so this is just in the regular tacky layer. I didn't put a top coat or anything like that. I actually even tried to use the application brush there just to kind of get it in further, but it wouldn't. So I actually dipped my finger into the other chrome color. And that is where I completely got mystified because even the area that I covered with the matte pigment, the entire area soaked up this chrome. And the shimmer on it, I literally had to take my ring light off. I had to completely change everything up just so you could see how pretty it was. And even here, I kind of stopped for a moment because I'm like, did that just go on that smooth? Like, did that just really happen? So I dipped my finger in more and I'm like, okay, we're just going to cover that whole nail. Because I was just so mystified with how pretty that is. So that's on the royal pink. But I try it as well with the Magnifique, which is a bit more translucent. And that was all of the winner chicken dinner. I lost it. I was like, that was one of my favorite tests of the day because it just looked so darling and also was so simple for the amazing look that you achieve. So, first of all, I have to give a ridiculous, like, amazing shout out to Miss Karina from Madam Glam. Thank you so much for sending these out. Madam Glam, thank you. These are literal a dream to work with. I can't wait to create all of the looks. And also, when I was doing that huge roll call of all the amazing things they've come up with this year, y'all, have you seen the video with the acrylic pens? Because they just keep outdoing themselves. But this is going to be ending all of the experiments with both the tropical and the fairy. This one is going to be the last nail that I play with, and I really did save the best for last. Using that middle shimmer pigment on top of, and y'all, again, this is just the tacky layer. I didn't do any top coat, I didn't do any of that. The way it burnished in was insane. It just looked so beautiful. And again, like this will completely change all of the polishes you already have. You can work with these shimmers, with these matte pigments, and you can literally create a completely new color with the things that you already have. So I think these pressed pigment palettes are a huge game changer. I am madly in love with them. And I can't thank you guys enough for staying for this longer video because I couldn't cut any of this out. You guys needed to see the trajectory of all the science and just all the magic. A huge thank you goes out to my beautiful nail family. Thank you for not only clicking, but for staying in this video and spending a part of your day with me. It just means the absolute world. Now, there's one nail here that didn't completely transfer, and that, again, that was when I was testing out the best way to apply those pigments, but it goes without saying, like there's no words. I'm just so incredibly grateful for this opportunity even to review these, to be in this community. Like I'm feeling all of the love. So I hope you're feeling the love too, because I am jumping through the screen and giving you the biggest hug as I also do science, because we got to fix this darn palette here. Because again, something so important nails have taught me is not to sweat the small stuff. Like, I could have cried and been so upset that a part of this was broken, but guess what? That doesn't achieve anything. I just put my little thinking cap on, and I'm so glad that I was able to fix her, because now she's in, how do I say it? Like, she ain't moving. She's in her forever home. So even though it doesn't look as pretty as the other ones, it definitely works just as amazing. Thank you again for watching. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. You guys know spooky season is my love, so there's going to be so many more videos. I hope that you have the most blessed day. Stay safe, be kind to one another, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Mwah. And don't forget, even though I did not say this in any of the video, we got discount codes, y'all. Oh, there's another nail. I clearly was having a lot of fun. I thought it was done. Um, oh gosh, that was such a funny moment. I'm definitely leaving this all in because, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm cackling over thinking that I was done. And then the video's like, nope, you did more tests. But what I was trying to say is there's discount codes that are in the description box below if you'd like to save some coin on these amazing pressed palettes. But again, for like the 1,000th time, because there can never be enough times to say it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I cannot wait to see you in tomorrow's video. Mwah. Sending all the love and light your way. Not me saying goodbye and coming right back. Oh my gosh, I hope you are living for the authenticity up in here, because this is just what hanging out with me is like. But I did want to add, just the finish on this was so spectacular, and even what you're seeing on camera does not even hold a light to the glorious finish you see in person. So anybody that grabs this after watching this video, please comment, because it would just mean the world that I got to inspire somebody to try these, because they are amazing. And if you already have this, I cannot wait to see all of the magic that you do with it, because they are party in a palette. Thanks again for watching.